Technology isn't just saving us time. It's actually deleting our ability to endure time. My run was grand, slow but grand. Can somebody tell me what these guys were doing in the river here? Like, they looked like they were part of the government because their car said like Delft what. But they were like looking in the water for something. I hope it's not a body. I hope it's like a bicycle. But yeah, does anyone know? Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. I'm wearing literally one of my favorite shirts. It used to be my granddad's. It's really, really big on me, but it's cool. I look like a art teacher today, I'm not gonna lie, but I feel very comfortable. So that's the win. Today we're gonna talk about something that I've been very cognizant of for like a few years, and I try really hard not to fall into this trap, but lately I found myself doing it. So yesterday when I was walking home, I had to wait to cross the road, and I could see that there were like quite a few cars backing up, so I was like, well, I have to wait anyway. And immediately I pulled out my phone and I went to Instagram. And I had to wait probably 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And I pulled out my phone. And this is not about Instagram. We'll have another day where we talk about Instagram. But this is about the notion of patience and what technology has done. So we tend to default to technology when we have to wait these days. And one can argue, in the past there were newspapers, people used to do the same. There's a difference. I think there's a difference. And I think technology is stripped away our need to wait. And it's not just waiting for something to happen in the real world, but also waiting in lines, in queues to buy things. We just put it in our cart and then it arrives. One day delivery. So I think this technology stripping away this like need to wait, I think is doing something to our psychology as well as to society in general. So I think today we're going to unpack that a little. Let me eat my breakfast and I'll see you later. Okay, I hope you can't hear the water, but there's like a well over here, so hopefully this noise cancelling mic will be good enough. But the first thing we want to discuss is that patience is not just a cultural thing, it's actually neurological. And our brains balance dopamine by regulating anticipation and then reward. Now, there's a difference that happens with technology. Now, our nervous system is basically beating at the sound of the drum of technology, if that makes sense. Or maybe say the tempo of technology. Is that now, in the letter and a post, I guess post you can argue is technology, but let's go with modern technology. It used to take 3, 4, 5, 6 days, and in South Africa it still takes probably 20 days to get there. But that you send a letter and you would wait, and that would increase the dopamine of that reading the letter or receiving the letter. Now, you can get a WhatsApp within 2 seconds and a reply within 1 minute. And that's crazy. There's some sort of rewiring here where we're not as patient and we get frustrated when people don't answer. Just like me, I'm going with a group of people to Slovenia and people aren't answering. And it's not their fault, they're busy. And I should just be patient. It's only been a day. But come, guys. And that's it. Ooh. Things are being rewired. It's crazy. The ability to wait was the ability to like hold your mind steady without having everything else distracted, doing all these other kind of things. And now, every time we get a gap or a break in our focus, we land up on a feed, we land up getting some new information that we actually can't remember. You can't tell me that you can scroll on TikTok or Instagram for like 20 minutes or even like 2 minutes and tell me what the last 2 videos were actually about. The thing is, we're not just losing patience, we're losing the ability to be alone with a thought. And that's the difference here. That's the crazy thing. We have new office mates. We're watching them while people are on holiday. Cheers.
Hello. There are definitely more people here, so it makes finding a place where nobody is a lot harder. But if you hear a beeping sound, they're doing something with the server room, so it's beeping. But this is good enough. Oh, there's like a spider right here, which is kind of creepy. Anyway, it's clearly nobody is sitting here. The next thing I want to talk about is the notion of being a little bit more fragile. So what happens to us now? We have coined the term rage quitting, or like, let me give you an example. If a YouTube video or TikTok or whatever buffers for a little bit longer, we get so frustrated, like 2 seconds. We are so frustrated that we'll just click off because we're like, there's so much more, we don't care. And you just swipe. And yes, that might be your internet problem or something, but it's also our deep-seated notion that we don't have patience anymore. We're like, there's so much more. It's okay if we miss this. We'll just continue going, whatever. And that's because without our patience, like our frustration tolerance is just plummeted. So when the seconds online and everything feel unbearable, like I can't wait 2 seconds, what actually happens to real world things that require patience, like losing weight, or I'm struggling to think of any other examples right now. All I can think about, actually, you can see there was someone on my social media talking about how long it took them to fall pregnant because they wanted a second kid. And it took them like months, and they got so frustrated. And again, there you go. Like, I don't even know how long it usually takes. Probably short for some people and long for other people. But then, again, that frustration that's embedded in that, because it should just be instant. Like, same day delivery. I order this, it arrives now. I don't want to wait. Okay, so it's home time now. Today was okay. Quite a rough, not the results that I wanted. I don't think my stuff is broken, and there's lots of areas to improve, but it's not so black and white. I know you can never get black and white, but just hold on a sec. There we go. Not as much as I would want it, or I thought it was going to be. I'm trying to find a place to sit because it's really hot. So yeah, it's okay day, but yeah, it is what it is, and we will get back at it tomorrow. But I wanted to go back to us talking about impatience and what it fosters. And I think there's also a societal impact. Like, society in general becomes impatient. Like, you look at the elections. I'm going to the shade because it is very hot, which I'm not complaining about, but it's still hot. This is better. Okay, so election candidates will promise like instantaneous results, will promise these things because that's what society wants. We don't want to wait for these long-term things to happen. We want instant results. And AI is helping with that. It will always give you an answer. It predicts the outcome. It says, okay, this is what it's going to be, even though it has no clue. But we feel better knowing that there's an answer. That's why you get all these now like AI trading apps, whatever. You're like, oh, okay, cool. I'm going to put it in here. It's going to guess it. Okay, maybe that's a bad example. But it feels like AI can give you an answer to something that maybe requires time in order to figure out. That's kind of the point that I'm trying to hit. And we're okay with it, and we love that. And it makes life a little bit easier because we don't have to reach into our bag and be patient. That's why also the companies that are winning nowadays are these same-day delivery companies. It's crazy. Or like ready-made meals or stuff. We don't want to wait for this. We want it now. And yeah, it's kind of scary because we just forget. We just exist. We don't really question, oh wow, good things take time. And I guess we still fall back on that, but do we actually practice it? So I'm going to rant a little bit about my results today because, yeah, it wasn't necessarily what I expected. And it's difficult for me to explain it without telling you exactly what it is. But let me put it this way. So I'm doing something with comparison, and the comparison difference is really small. Like, let's say 1%, where I expected it to be like a 15% difference. Now, that 1% is still significant. And in my industry like brain, 1% is not enough. We need to optimize something, we need to do something. But I haven't spoken to any of my supervisors or anyone in academia here about this because they're still all on holiday, so it's kind of all just me. And there might be something significant in that 1%, or it might like involve a further study down, whatever. But I find it quite difficult to, think about that. Also, can someone tell me, this tree, why is it scraped like that? Is that erosion because of wind? That's crazy. It's also on this one. Is it like wind erosion? Wow, because it's only on one side. Look. And it's not even on this side either. Okay, it's darker, but it's not on the other sides of these trees. Anyway, hopefully I'll speak to them tomorrow and then I can give you some updates on how it's going there. So yeah, but a little bit like demoralized, but I guess that comes with it's a price you pay for this kind of stuff. So yeah, we'll see. Let's go home and eat some food. Quite hungry.
Good evening. You didn't see me last since I was on my way to my bicycle home. I guess we can conclude that by saying that a society that cannot wait is a society that may struggle to build. Now, it's an interesting one because our default behavior now is to hop on our phones, and that's for me too. And like I said before, is I'm trying not to do that. I'm very cognizant of when I'm waiting to just people watch, but I love people watching. But it's slowly creeping in that I feel like I'm missing stuff. So going on social media is almost easier to be like, oh, I need to catch up with the world. And I catch up with the world and then I end up scrolling and getting stuck on there. So anyway, I think it's time for our thought experiment. Just to see kind of where technology is going. Imagine two futures now. One, we've completely lost patience. Every delay is intolerable. Every problem must be solved instantly, like now. In the other, patience survives. Not as waiting, but as endurance. As the ability to stay with difficulty over time. Now I ask you to ask yourself, which future feels closer to the one our technology is training us for? And that's me, guys. I will see you tomorrow.